We're going to go ahead and get right into it. 25 years ago, I had a situation to where the situation caused me to leave my hometown, my home city. At the time, I was living in Decatur, Georgia, going to open campus high school by way of Columbia High CHS. The good old blue and orange Eagles. So I'm at one of my partner's houses off Line Street, off Glenwood and Line. And we just gaming out, playing the game. And one of my other partners, one of my best friends at the time from the neighborhood, he comes over to the apartments and was just like, man, what you done? What you done did? I was like, man, what you talking about? So he say, man, it's a dude in the neighborhood. He ran down on me asking about where you was. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. He ain't got no reason to be looking for me. So he was like, so I say, what do you want? He was like, I don't know, man. You seem pretty mad. So my partner assumed that I might have got with his baby mama, which that was not the case. I had been knowing his baby mama, or whoever she was to him, for a couple years. She was just a chick that lived in the neighborhood, stayed at the top of the street. So we neighbors. Everybody know everybody. So so I say he ain't got no reason to be looking for me or mad at me about nothing. So I said, man, let me go see about this. So I tell my partners, hey man, y'all roll with me. So we pull up at dude's house. I go up to the dude's door. Same girl we talking about, she come to the door. So I'm like, hey man, where your man at? He say he been looking for me, man. We need to talk. See what's going on. I'm trying to find out, what he talking about. So she coming with the rah. You know what you did. He gonna come see about you and all this, that, and the third. So I'm like, I don't even know what y'all talking about, man. What are you talking about? So let's just get to the bottom of it. Tell the man to come talk to me face to face so we can get this straightened out. He hiding behind her. Not visibly. I know the nigga in the Excuse me. I know the man was in the house. I know he was in the house. He don't want to come out. So I tell straight up, I say, man, I don't know what's going on. Obviously your man is scared to come talk to me face to face or whatever, but he talking big and making all these threats, to my people. But he ain't mad enough to come talk to my face. I tell him, hey man, that's weak. So, don't come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't ready to stand up like a man and stand on business. So, she closes the door, slams the door. Don't worry about it. We gonna see about you, yada, yada, woo, woo. So later on that night, and about, like I say, this was 25 years ago. This was October 2000. So, October is getting dark early. It gets dark, start getting dark around 5:30, 5:45. So I say maybe about 6:15, 6:30. a car. I stay on a cul-de-sac, so it's one way in, one way out. So a car parks, you know, a little bit up from my driveway, and a bunch of guys jump out with masks and hoods on. So they run up to the door. They run up to my parents' house where I'm living at the time, because I'm 17 at the time, right? 17, senior in high school, going to open campus. This happens. So guys jump out this car, masked up, hoods on. So at the time, we had a neighbor across the street. So she's just sitting in the window talking to my little sister on the phone, I think. So she yells out, what y'all doing down here? Who is y'all? Where y'all going? So, they all start screaming, yeah, you need to tell that EMF and yada, yada, yada. They just real rowdy, real rowdy customers. Tell that such and such to come out the house. We about to settle this right now. So my next door neighbor, I'm peeking out, I'm peeking out the window, seeing what's going on, so I'm trying to analyze the situation. So I'm like, man, this dude really on some nonsense, right? So I go tell my old man, I say, look, man, we got a real situation out here. You know what I'm saying? They done stepped on private property, talking about they gonna do something to me. So, we need to handle this, and we need to handle this ASAP, ASAP. This is not time to be playing games or take this lightly. Because, I felt at the time, you know what I'm saying, that this may be a situation where I could possibly lose my life, or work, or even worse, somebody in my household, catch a stray, or, somebody else might get hurt. So, we need to go ahead and get this dealt with ASAP. So he kind of brushed it off. For the second time, it's for the second time that day, somebody, what's the word I'm looking for? He assumed that I done something to cause this. Once again, first, my partner did it. What you done, you done did something. Throw an assumption on me. You know what I mean? My old man, pops, he threw the presumption. Assumed that I done something. What you done for them to come down here? I'm like, man, I ain't done nothing, but I do know they outside that door. You know what I'm saying? They ready to do something. He kind of brushed it off. So, the only people that's really kind of taking it serious is me, of course, because they calling me out. My little sister, my younger sister, my older sister, I think she was in school at the time. She was down in Fort Valley. So, she don't know what's going on. And so my mama catch wind of, we having conversations and all the rah-rah outside. So, of course, for a woman, she just gonna kind of, take it to a whole nother level. You know, that it may have been that serious, may not have been that serious, but either way, you know, everything was just getting blown out of proportion. So, mind you, while I'm telling this story, I'm not going to throw anybody up under the bus. You know, I'm a type of person that will admit 100% and wholeheartedly when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man and I can stand on that. But in this case, you know, I'm gonna tell you what really happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. But like I say, I'm not gonna throw nobody up under the bus. You know, while I'm telling this story or these stories, cause this won't be the end. This won't be the last one. But let me get back into it. So a decision was made that it's time for me to go. So that night, I threw everything I had, which was nothing but some shoes, some clothes, you know, my game. You know, I think I might have had a PlayStation at the time. PlayStation, couple games, some clothes, everything I had, man, in about 2-3 trash bags. And they shipped me to my grandmother's house, which is 2.5 hours away from Atlanta. And basically they shipped me off to the country. This is my dad's mother, which is one of the reasons why I'm deciding to tell my story, because she just recently passed. Thanksgiving 2025, that week she passed, that Sunday. Thanksgiving was Thursday. We laid her to rest Saturday. And here we are a couple days later until the next week. You know, I just been thinking about it, and plus also a lot of my classmates, you know, from the Atlanta area and people that I grew up with and people in the metro Atlanta area, they always kind of ask me, man, what happened, man? What happened? You know, you were just coming to school one day and the next day you just disappeared. So, you know, over the years I was just like, man, it's a long story, man. We get a chance to talk it out, you know, I'll tell you. But so here we are, man. I'm gonna give you the whole spiel. So, like I say, I threw everything I had into about 3-4 trash bags, man, and they shipped me out. Now, some other stuff happened that night at my parents' house, but we'll save that for another time and another story. So, at this point, my partner think I done some. You know, my parents think I done something. I'm trying to tell everybody, man, I don't know what's going on. And, you know, and I'm not the one at fault. Because if I done something, I would tell y'all. I would stand on it. So, time goes on, and I had to re-enroll in a school down in the country, Worth County High, and I had to finish out my senior year. So I'm living with my grandmother at the time, and I'm adjusting, you know, to a slower pace of life, and some good, a lot of good things happen, a few bad things happen. But back to the story. So, like I say, I go down in October, May rolls around, I'm out for the summer. I'm out for the summer. I come back to Atlanta. And by this time, the perception, from my family, people in the streets, is that I done something, I done bad to this man in some shape, form, or fashion, right? So, this is, and this is also a lesson on projection, man. If you allow it, man, people will project their perceptions, man, rumors, lies, how they see you and how they view you. Man, they'll project that stuff on you, man. And before you know it, man, you might accept, what's being said because you feel like, hey, man, you can't do nothing about it, right? Well, at least that's how I was. So I was like, okay, well, everybody think, that this is the type of person that I am. This is how I get down. Then I tell you what, let's just really just go ahead and get into some street activities. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to claim that that I'm in these streets, then let's get in these streets. So that's where that Marcus turned into for my later teens and early 20s. So let's fast forward, right? Let's fast forward about 2-3 years. So just so happened, another one of my childhood friends and this same guy, were kind of cool. So I'm just riding through the neighborhood, right? So I see him talking to dude, right? So I jump out. Yeah. Got you now. Got you. So now all of a sudden whoa, please, hey, whoa, man, let me explain. No, it ain't time to explain. It's time to go and get it popping. What's up? You were talking all that rah-rah a couple years back about what you gonna do to me. Let's do something now. So he say, nah, man, nah, don't do it, man. Let me explain. So come to find out, his own people breaks into his car, so he says, breaks into his car, steal his radio. They broke into your car and stole the radio. All that because you mashed up, hooded up, blockade my street to where nobody could leave in or out over a radio in a car. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Cap. Stop the cap, man. So this guy here was supposed to be some type of hustler or whatever. They broke in the man's car. Yeah, they stole the music, but they also stole their work. They stole his work, and for some odd reason, my name got put on it. I'm the man that's done broken this man's car and stole their work. All that. You know what I'm saying? I got uprooted from my family, from my home, from my family and friends, everybody who I grew up with, behind lies, nonsense, misunderstanding and a man not wanting to stand on business and come talk to me face to face. You know what I'm saying? So he can look me in my eye when I tell him, hey man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You got the wrong one. Turn my world, my life upside down, man. But I will say, like I said, man, without that happening, without God having his hands in it, I wouldn't be who I am, what I've experienced, and what I have and where I am today. So, hey, man, I thank you. As much hell as it was at the time for me to go through, much appreciation and gratitude, because, you never know how turmoil, trauma, drama, things that don't make no sense that happen to you in life will turn out for you good. But I will say at 17 years old, man, 17 years old and practically homeless and having to figure this thing out in real time, in real life, I'm going to get into some more stories about what happened while I was down there in the country. But trust, man, my trust, but I couldn't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? My own family members didn't. I don't think they wanted to believe anything I had to say when my own family members had their own perceptions and, you know what I'm saying, ideologies about what happened. And remember what I was telling you about projection? Man, just imagine all that people's opinions, what they got to say, you know what I'm saying, projected on you, man. And you can't do nothing about that. But just take it on the chin, you know what I mean? Your name get drugged through the dirt, catch a bad rap. But like I say, I'm not here to throw nobody up under the bus, man. Like I say, I'm grateful for how it happened, the things that happened, and it just made me stronger, you know what I'm saying, made me wise beyond my years. It really showed me what this world and life is about, what this world can do. It can be very ugly, very nasty, cruel world, real cruel world, man. But that's what happened. That's what happened to Marcus 25 years ago. 17 years old, a misfortunate event happened. Caused me to get uprooted from my friends, family, everything that I knew and learned, and just threw me into a whole new world, that I had to navigate. So, to those that want to know what happened, my Atlanta family, that's what happened. That's what happened, man. All this behind his own people, stealing from him. You know what I'm saying? His own people done him in. And a lame guy, it came out who put my name. You know what I'm saying? Who put my name, throw my name up to that guy. Real L12 type nigga. I'm sorry, a real lame type of guy, man. Just a wannabe. Mad because he ain't have no flavor, couldn't fit in with, with the crowd that me and my best buddies was amongst. He wanted to be that and was just hating. And for some odd reason, he threw my name out there. But anyway, that's what happened. We'll get into that story a little bit later. This is the Let 'Em Speak podcast, where every man, every woman has a voice, has a story, has an opinion. Hey man, we gonna let them speak, man. Everybody gonna get a chance to speak on the platform. So yeah, man, just stay tuned, man. Rest in peace to my grandmother that just passed, because without her taking me in for a short while, and allowed me to adjust down in Sylvester, Georgia, Poland, Georgia to be exact, way deep in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, man. If it wasn't for that lady, having the heart, being a blessing to me in my time of need, I don't know where I would be. And there were some other people that took care of me along the way too, while I was down there. But we're gonna save that for another story, another time. Hey man, y'all be blessed. Stay prayed up, and we're gonna let them speak.